At the dawn of time, single-celled creatures emerged from the primordial ooze to colonize the Earth. The fertile soil they found was beautiful, dangerous, and wild. However, it was also super lame because they didn't have the concept of numbers with which to rate things. Now, in the year of our spaghetti monster in the sky, 2025, two intrepid brothers have come forth to solve the world's problem. No longer will items go unrated. No longer will everyday objects escape the rule of numerical law. This is Review Everything.
Hello, and welcome to Review Everything, a podcast where we take the limitless spectrum of human existence and quantify it numerically. We are your hosts. I'm Ashton McCauley, a writer with a brand new book that comes out the day this episode airs.
Like you wrote, like a book you wrote?
I wrote it, and it's right here.
Holy-
Look at that. Look, there's pages. They have words in them. Some of them, they got pictures in them too.
So
they
this
got
is
pictures in them too.
This is a digital self-publicated book, so it's not real, right? It's
No,
not like
this
you're
is
a real
real.
author with a publisher or anything.
This is from a traditional publisher.
I didn't even
It's
think those
from-
exist anymore. But you're not doing like a book release or anything, are you?
I am. I have 3 events.
I'm gonna shut up. You tell us what. Oh yeah, I'm way off.
Look, I just say I look, brief plug, and then I swear to God we'll get on with the podcast. This is a
No.
book that I wrote because I fucking love theme parks, but have a very conflicted relationship with them. Where like I really enjoy them, but I fucking hate the corporations that run them, and they piss me off. And so I was like, what if I had a theme park in space that was run by mega dickheads and sent a team of mercenaries there? So it's a comedy that's about capitalism. It's also about space marines killing bugs and shit, and it has 2 of my favorite characters in the world. So it's really fun. I'm doing 3 events. The first one is going to be in Bellingham, Washington. If you're out there on September 27th, it will be a book signing and a reading, and probably a little bit of PowerPoint. The second one is going to be October 3rd in West Seattle at Paperboat Booksellers. It's going to be more of the same. And then the last one will be October 25th at Booktree in Kirkland. Somehow, these bookstores were like, yeah, we like this. We want to have this in our... They will all have copies in stock. I'm also going to go sign some copies in advance to put on the shelves. So
Let's get a cool, interesting guy to bring his cool, interesting book to hang out with cool, interesting people. Of course they want it. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's wild though. This is brand new to me. Like my last book, there was no interest from booksellers whatsoever. This is like, these are my very first solo, just me events. It's going to be weird. It's going to be wild. I'm very excited. But yeah, the day this pod comes out, the book is out. So if you want to go buy it online, you can get it literally anywhere books are sold. One night at Cadassi. Please do. So if you can go buy my book, or hey, just go bot farm it on Goodreads and toss it a rating, or say you're going to read it. It helps.
If A-Town, if people wanted to support you, which a lot of people do, I'm hearing that a lot of people want to support you. Is there an optimal way to get this book?
They're all optimal.
As far as it, is there a way that helps you? I'm guessing that a lot of the books in one of these 3 or 4 book stores are going to be signed, so going there may be good.
Yeah, and so look, I make the same cut everywhere, but if you go to bookshop.org and you buy it there, it's better than buying it on Amazon because that will support your local bookstores. So you can, when you buy on bookshop.org, you can like pick a bookstore to dedicate that sale to.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we're not supporting fucking Jeff Bezos. And that's great. But if you want to buy it on Amazon, fuck it. That's fine too, because that's where most commerce happens and you can't really avoid it.
Are you telling people about the golden ticket? We'll cut this if you're not, but are you telling people in advance that one book will have a golden ticket in it, which gets you a one-on-one dinner at Olive Garden with you?
I didn't want to say it, but if you want to, so first, listen, if you find the golden ticket, and there definitely is one, first, we're going to go to Outback for an appetizer of a bloomin' onion, and we're going to split it Lady in the Tramp style, but we're going to stop before we kiss because I'm a married man. I'm a married man, so that we can't let that happen. But then we'll go to Olive Garden, get some, we'll get some little ravioli pillows. We'll eat those together, very romantic. And then for dessert, Cheesecake Factory, whatever you want, and not the one that burned down in Seattle. Okay, I'm taking you to the real shit, the one that's still there.
Yeah, because we're gonna burn it down. That's the last thing. The golden ticket.
Yeah,
you do arson with Ashton.
Yeah, we do arson together.
Yeah.
So if that other Cheesecake Factory burns down shortly after book launch, you fucking know why. You know somebody found the golden ticket and we did it together. Who are you?
I'm just a guy. Yeah. What is my legacy when I die? Do I need a legacy? It's something I don't think a lot about. I am your millennial tech guru burned out friend. I am a hummingbird missing a wing. I am a dog shit sitting in the middle of the road.
I actually think I could provide an update to what your legacy is, and it's mainly effects on my colon. Because after our spicy episode last week, literally the day after, I got a DoorDash order.
You got a little gift.
Yeah, a little gift. I don't know how many, because look, the cauliflower wings, they just
There was
sort of come
6.
in a pile. It was a lot. It was just like a pile of like cauliflower bits covered in blazing sauce that showed up at my door. And I'll put some of the clips up here right now. The breading doesn't travel super well, but it's not bad. Oh, got a little on my finger. Dangerous for later. That's how much we got left. That's a lot in there. A little bit of classic ranch here. You know, it takes me back. I am sweating. Oh, I'm sweating. 4 minutes in though. Feeling good. Feel strong. We'll go back in for that tangy barbecue sauce. That was nice. You know, the heat's bad. I do wish I had water if I'm being honest. You see the tears coming. You see the tears coming now. Shout out to my dogs. To my therapist. A little bit of carrot. Just taking a little more break. Good crunch. Good crunch that travel well. Last one. Last one. Quiet now. It hurts. Shout out to Connor. Oh, careful around the eyes. Ugh. Oh. That's a 10, baby. That's a 10.
He committed to
I
it.
got very real. Like,
Yeah, like
it was vulnerable.
I knew if I sent it to him, he would eat it. And this was a work day. Like he just went for a run. Like he had a meeting and then another meeting. And this champ right here, he committed to the bit and he ate these after a run. Looked awful. I'm sure he smelled awful and then went directly to a meeting. He's the real deal, Sean Evans, Chris Evans.
Yeah, and I mean, like, look, I did a full interview with myself, and I did check-ins, I did shout-outs, I made sure to shout out the pod and shout out my family, and I kind of reviewed as I went the different sauces, and like, look, it was an experience. I'm actually like, I'll tell you this, now that I'm through it, I would do it again.
Asian Zing was your favorite because I got you some extra sauces to try, right?
Well, so my favorite sauce is always going to be ranch. Ranch is the number one.
No, ranch. No. I'm talking about the wing sauce.
Well,
Yeah.
so it was weird, right? Because they're covered in blazing, and then you dip them in another sauce. So it was like they were both delicious. They was really good. Like there was nothing wrong with that, and like it traveled surprisingly well.
Are you
Like,
excited for the
cauliflower
next
wings, not something you think travels well, but it was.
Are you
it's
excited about
still
tomorrow?
good. Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Look, my stomach hurt for the rest of the day. Like, and not bad, but it just sort of felt like I'd eaten a brick of lava. And like, I could tell something bad was going to happen. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. And I was like, if I'm going to do this again, I would definitely not order the blazing wings if I had a choice. But like, when it's free, yeah, that's fine. I'll do it makes sense. But there was a moment where I thought, I'm done for. And you could see that right here. This is the moment when I was like, oh, I fucked up. And then like right before I called you afterward, there was a moment where it was stuck in my throat. Couldn't get it. The spice was just in there because I did the whole thing without water. I just started gargling everything I could find in my kitchen that might help. So I was like, well, first I tried Polar. Terrible. Like spicy water, not good for this. And then I found like almond milk that was of questionable age. And I just like chugged it and gargled it and spat it in the sink several times while both my dogs were watching me. like my little puppy's just looking up at me like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I can't explain to you what's happening to me.
Papa, are you going to die? And if you do, can I eat you?
Yeah. And then I just chewed ice for like 20 minutes and I was fine.
I am excited to see you. So I've seen you go after wet hot, right?
Yeah.
Like those were soppy wings, even the cauliflower. Like they look pretty wet on a dry to wet, which is a game we often do in my house. That felt like that was 70% wet, maybe 60. But I want to see it with some dry heat. And so that's why I'm excited about tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going full Nashville hot. And this is just caked cayenne. There is no fucking liquid on this chicken. It is embedded into the oil and then turned into a dry substrate that you consume.
I mean, look, hey, so I've done it before. Okay, this is... Look,
you're not getting beat up, by the way. This is something different. This is a surprise.
We're almost 10 minutes in, but fuck it. Here's another aside. So every time, my wife, she loves to support her boss's kids because they're cool kids. So we go to their musical.
Hey, hold on, podcast. This is about, we've said some wild things on this podcast. Some of them, sometimes it's a little bit of a joke, sometimes it's a take, sometimes it's completely serious, and you're just getting honesty from humans. What he's about to tell you is real, and I swear to God, for me, it is the single most wild thing that I know about Ashton and his partner. The thing that they do, and now say what it is, because I don't think I'm alone in this.
So my wife is very kind, and so her boss's kids love when she shows up to their events, specifically their high school musicals. So we go to their musicals twice a year, and my payment for going with her is she will take me to Rachel's Ginger Beer in Seattle and get me an alcoholic dark and stormy slushy and a Mao Ono chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
and the last time I was there, usually I order it, but for some reason, like this time, ordered it for me, and she's like, "You want the hottest one, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." And then I forgot that the hottest one,
give me that Vindaloo.
It costs extra. It is like the Nashville Hot, and it's like it costs extra, and it says specifically no refunds.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to sit through a high school production of Chicago while my guts were on fire because that thing hurt me. It was really good though. So
I will say I want to walk back a little bit of my my take, because I didn't realize, I thought when you told me that the first time, this was either elementary or middle school, like recitals, like a high school. By the time you get to high school and you do a play, like
here's the thing. We've been doing it for years, so it wasn't always high school.
Yeah, that's to go. You don't have kids, and then to go with a work person and to watch their kids do something that I'm sure they don't even want to watch.
Yeah,
that's why they bring you, because they're fucking bored.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
nice.
crazy. We don't even sit next to them.
What a lovely lady. Yeah. Well, what's our first topic? What are we doing today?
Today we're talking about things that are seasonal, and I want to lead with something it's about to come back in season. And that, my friend, is Survivor, the television show Survivor. So imagine this. The year is 2000. We have survived Y2K, and reality television is about to blow up in a big way. Did you ever watch Survivor when it came out?
I don't think, in the way that you all watched that, which is serious, I don't think I've ever watched a reality show that wasn't like on TLC and was about like building things in a junkyard. Like I watched those type of reality shows.
Like specifically you're talking about Junkyard Wars.
Yeah, Wars.
Yeah, Junkyard Wars is rad.
Yeah. So, but nothing like this, like pop culture. And so when I found out that you were a legitimate Survivor fan, it's one of the data points that I think makes you interesting and is a little bit confusing for me. And I hope I learn more. Kind of like when I made the bet that you had a general idea about food and cooking and maybe like celebrities in that space. And
it totally played. It totally played.
Okay, so let's talk about Survivor though.
Yeah, so interesting. There's a gap, and I'll get to that in my fandom. So when this came out in 2000, this was a weekly ritual in my household. I was like 10 years old, so but the family gathered around the TV. Me, my newborn sister, my mom, and my stepdad.
Isn't that kind of like a sexy show? Like there's hookups and like bikinis and stuff.
Well, so
and wieners, like big hogs. Yeah, big hogs.
Kind of. So this is the thing. Like it has changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to enter season 50.
The hogs are smaller now.
Well, yeah, but like it's also just a completely different vibe. So before I kind of get to Survivor is widely considered to be the first profitable reality TV program ever. Survivor is the one that kicked off reality TV as a craze. So that's a blessing and a curse, because there's some that's fun, like Alone. Alone is very good.
I did watch Alone, sorry, like 3 seasons of Alone.
But then there's stuff that's not fun. Like, did you ever watch a show called Probably not, but have you ever heard of the show Kid Nation?
Mm-mm.
This was Survivor, but they dropped a bunch of 12-year-olds in an old mining town that was abandoned in the Old West and had them build a society. And then they eliminated one per week, and eventually one got a golden star that was worth money. I think they only did 1 or 2 seasons of it because it was fucking wild.
Isn't
but
that
this was on the heels of Survivor when they were greenlighting literally anything.
Isn't that
there was one that was called Snowflake Mountain as well that was pretty good, where they told people they were going on an influencer shoot, and then they got there and they're like, "Surprise, you're surviving in the wilderness, get fucked, but if you can tough it out, you're gonna get $1 million." And I'm like, I kind of like that.
Wait, hold on, there is one reality show that I really liked. I didn't think of it. It's all food. Like I've watched a lot of food reality shows, primarily Top Chef. Mostly good. It kind of has an interesting evolution as well, where it was way more like watch them fight after they cook, like the first couple seasons, and now they're James Beard winners and stuff. So the idea that you're going to watch them like wrestle naked after cooking doesn't exist. But what I did watch was whatever one of the Ramsey ones where they had kids, like
But yeah,
top
it's
kid
like
chef,
Master Chef Kids
Master
edition or
Chef
something.
Kids, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the first season, dude, they did not have the right people. They just copy pasted the adult show to kids, and at the end of every episode they kicked a kid off, but they didn't find a nice way to do it. Like in the second season, they figured it out. They must have got a consultant, and there's certain ways you do it, but at the end of every episode in the first season, it's like they were actually putting down a kid. All the kids cried, they lost their friend, like they didn't pump the kid up beforehand. They were just like, yeah, you fucking lost, get out. And then all the other kids freak out, and it's just like sad tears, not fun tears. It's the most amazing season of television. Next season they figured it out, and the kids are like, oh, okay.
That sounds a lot like Kid
Survivor?
Nation.
Oh,
Kid
Kid
Nation's
Nation.
kind of like that, except for like Lord of the Flies, where they're like, oh man, that was a good book. We should make that a show. But okay, so for the first few seasons of this, I watched it religiously. Then I stopped. Then I got into, it was my freshman year in college, and there was a few, like, you know how like there was a few kids from my high school that went to the same college as me, and we were like not friends in high school, but you're just kind of glomming on to whoever is there that you know.
Yeah, kind of.
And they had a ritual around watching Survivor, so I watched for a few seasons with them, enjoyed it, and then I fell off. And then very recently, my wife's family, super into Survivor. But what ended up pulling me in was podcast host John Lovett from Pod Save America and like Love It or Leave It was like, he disappeared at one time from the shows, and they would not say where he was. And then I found out he was going on Survivor, and I was like, all right, fuck, I gotta tune in for this. And then he gets fucking eliminated in the first episode. Big spoiler.
Is that the only time that like there's like people you would know on it? I thought it was all
Mike White. So the man who directed School of Rock.
Yeah.
Went on,
I know him.
He was on Survivor right after he directed School of Rock.
Oh, I thought it was always like randos.
No, it's so they have like I think there's a producer for like Black Panther on the latest season. Like they pull in names every once in a while. There was this guy who was in WWE, was the mayor of Slamtown, was on a season. It was pretty good. But so that I started watching that one season. John gets eliminated. Then I keep watching it. And then the next season comes around and they're like, you want to play Survivor Fantasy? I was like, yeah, I do. Like, I don't watch football anymore, but I miss fantasy sports. And this is like, you basically pick 3 and there's an auction format. Like, pick 3 humans and you bet on them for the season. And then you get points based on how they do in the game. Got me really invested. And then like at the end of that, they announced season 50. And season 50, there's people coming back all the way from season 1 to present. Wow. It's all returning people. And so my wife and I, let's go rewatch seasons where everybody from season 50 is coming in. And I have watched like maybe 6 or 7 seasons of Survivor in between the last 2. And it comes back, by the time this episode airs, it will be coming back tomorrow. I have my draft tomorrow night. Like when I was like waiting for us to start here, I was looking up the new season people and like doing my due diligence and seeing who I want to bet on.
But in what ways did it like, how is it very different now than it was in the beginning? Was it more survival? Like people got hurt and like didn't eat?
Yeah. So there's a couple of key differences. Like in the pandemic, they switched everything. So now it's in the same location every year. So like mostly so they don't like just deforest random areas to make room for their challenges. But they also like, they made it harder and easier in some ways. So contestants used to get like some food and some prep when they got there. But like if you watch season 1, which is really rough, they just fucking like drop people and they say, good luck. And like, we'll give you stuff eventually. And there's not like a lot of hand holding and it's pretty rough on the contestants. And like the old challenges used to be like, that's the other team. This is your team. Fight each other for this ball in the water. And then whoever gets it to their goal wins. And like people like would dislocate shoulders. Most of the time it was women ripping their tops off. And like they like moved away from that. So, but it was super, super sexist when it started, and it's gotten a lot better. One of the things I learned today, I was Googling like Jeff Probst controversies because I really like Jeff Probst, and I was like, I need to vet before I start talking about him on this podcast. They were criticized for not having enough diversity on the show, and their fucking solution was to do a season where every team was composed of a different race.
Yeah,
so
classic. Let's put all the one colors together. Let's put some other colors together. And then
I watched a really
let's
good
have a
clip.
race war. We can call it race wars.
Yeah, I watched a clip of Jeff Probst talking about it, and I was like, that's not good. But for the most part, he seems like he's okay.
What did he call? Wait. What did they call the teams? At some point, they had to quickly designate them to call something out, and he had to be like, the yellow people, like the white fucks.
I believe the season is called Ghost Island. So there was a spooky island twist, that one where when you got voted out, you could go to an island and resurrect.
That seems cool.
Yeah, they used to do. That's the other thing that happened. They used to do a lot of twists and a lot of gimmicks. One of my favorite seasons is David versus Goliath. So they had a bunch of like shrimpy people or people who were just like fucking bad at life. And then like the Goliaths were like the mayor of Slamtown and shit. And
that's awful.
Mike White was on the Goliaths despite being a shrimpy, pasty dude because he's
a successful producer. Yeah,
successful person. So really, like they used to do that a lot more. Now they don't. Now they're just numbered season. There's no gimmicks. The challenges are pretty similar season to season, but it also, because they've standardized it a lot more, it becomes a lot more about the gameplay.
Okay.
And that I like. So people do treat it more like it's a game and they're there to play. They think about it more strategically. Whereas in the past, it was like, oh, I don't like that these two are hooking up. Let's vote the woman off.
Well,
because then we can break them up. And they always voted the woman off first in like when there was a showmance. But like, so it's kind of like hit and miss. Season 50 is going to, they also shortened it. So it's only 26 days instead of 40.
Wait, the one that starts tomorrow though, isn't like the Champions League. It's
not 50.
It's the next regular season. Okay.
Yeah, the next regular. Okay, so we've talked a lot about Survivor, but I've come back into it. I really enjoy it again. I actually like get pretty invested in the stories of people, and like it can be pretty heartwarming. And Jeff Probst is an amazing host, and it's fun to watch. And it feels like as far as the spectrum of reality TV goes, it's not that problematic. So that, and like especially now that they've focused on like this is a game, and the people there understand that it's a game.
So it's more like Taskmaster on vacation now than it is like Alone, like Sexy Alone.
So it's definitely like people still lose like a shit ton of weight because they're not feeding you. You don't even get rice when you show up. Like you eat only coconut. They give you water now. They give you a drinkable water source, which they didn't always do. And you can like earn stuff like a fishing kit, but most people don't fish because there's like it's really hard. To fish in the ocean,
and cleaning fish sucks, and eating fish non-flavored isn't always great.
They also don't get fire guaranteed anymore, so you don't get flint. You have to earn flint, and if you lose an immunity challenge as a team, you lose your flint, so you can't make fire. So it can be pretty brutal, but like it's not like Alone where, for those who don't know, they just drop you in the wilderness with a camera bag you have to carry yourself and set up shots. And the only time they come and check on you is for medical checks. And like in the original seasons of Alone, they also didn't tell you how long you had to stay out there.
That was wild.
It was just outlast everybody else who is in their own place. Now it's 100 days.
People mentally lost their minds not knowing when. Because it's about like, am I going to do it before the other guy? Do you remember that guy? He lost like large percentages of body fat. Like the dude was emaciated completely. Like he lost like 80 pounds and he had stockpiled and smoked fish. The guy killed the game and he didn't realize how bad he had gotten because he didn't have a mirror or anything. And they went and checked on him and they're like, oh, you're fucking out. And he was in second place. There was only one other person left. And he's just sitting there crying and like, and like holding himself and shaking, and he was like, "I have fish to eat." He had like 100 fish just hanging, delicious looking. He's like, "I can eat fish. Don't make me go."
Yeah, I do remember like that show. That's peak. Survivor.
I think that was the Wolverine season where that guy killed that fucking Wolverine and then ate it for the rest of the season.
I based a D&D character off of him.
Oh, yeah, you did.
That's who Chuck is based off of. But Alone is fucking rad.
I'm into it. I like the idea. Like I still don't. If is the major thing for you the puzzles? Because you kind of got me when you're like, there's heartwarming stories. I have in my head that a portion of these people are either degenerates or just kind of normies. And I feel like one of the different things between you and me is I don't feel better about the world watching not even bad stuff, but like normal stuff, like people being normal people. I don't hang out with normal people for that reason. And so to watch them on TV, that to me seems like a stretch because you don't hang out with people like that in real life. So why would you watch them on TV?
So that's the interesting, I would say that's dead wrong.
Okay.
There is shit ton of neurotypical
okay,
people on Survivor, neurodivergent people on Survivor. Like last year they had their first autistic contestant and she did super fucking well. But like There's absolutely I think a wide variety of neurodivergence on Survivor, and it wasn't always the case. It used to be like a bunch of Chads and
Yeah,
Chadettes.
maybe that's maybe what I'm thinking of. And not even necessarily neurodiverse or anything. It's just that, like, in my life, there's a lot of people I don't hang out with because I don't have a lot in common with them. And to watch them on TV, it just seems like work versus fun.
Yeah, there is a guy 2 seasons ago who reminded me of you in a lot of ways, and I rooted for him because I was like, it was very weird.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Tell me this guy's name.
It's funny because you don't look. You do kind of look like him. So let's see. His name is Shaheem.
It's probably really handsome.
I'm gonna pull up a picture of him.
Okay. Oh, you have told me about this guy.
Yeah. So
tell me why I remind you of him.
So he comes from a corporate America background, but like I think has the same distaste for it that you do. He's also like he got very into the gameplay. Like he's a very social person, but like when he got on the island, he's like, "Oh no, I know how your minds work, and I'm here to work you against each other.
This is
so
a big
I win.
meeting, and so I'm going to make this meeting go well." And,
exactly. Yeah. So like that energy is what he brings. Also, there was a time when like he knew what the Survivor soundtrack sounded like, so he just started doing it live when they were doing a challenge when he was sitting out. So he was just like, "See ya, ooh waka, chaka chaka chaka," and like started singing.
He's handsome and funny. I get it.
Yeah, no, he was great. So if you're gonna watch a season, I want you to watch Shaheen's season because he's great, and that's also the season with the first autistic contestant too. It was very good.
Okay.
So so my rating, entertainment value, 8 out of 10. Good content. Too much filler and fluff. I didn't talk about that, but there is too much filler.
Like, what's an example or a filler fluff?
They extended the program by a half hour after 2020, so it's now an hour and a half long instead of an hour, and that's just too long. Like
I would have thought this was a half an hour show. What? An hour and a half?
It's an hour and a half. It's 90 minutes.
What?
Dude, the fucking finale is 3 hours long, and it's too much. It's too much. It's too long. They used to be an hour, and an hour was perfect. Childhood nostalgia, 7 out of 10. Current fun, 10 out of 10. I like that my wife's into it and her whole family's into it. It's a fun thing that we all talk about, like whenever we get together, and it's like it's a good coming together thing. And it's fun to watch old seasons with her. We have a good time. Spawned reality TV, 2 out of 10. There is some good reality TV, but most of it's bad, and I think it's part of our decline as a civilization. I think that's one of the key moments we turned around and started sucking shit. So I give it a 7.
I will say I had one experience playing fantasy for another show, and it made the show so much more interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Especially because it was the last season of Game of Thrones. And so while everyone else was losing their shit that the show sucked, I was so excited because I was leading, and I had Daenerys and her dying in the last shitty episode. Not even you shouldn't watch this season. It doesn't exist.
It's so bad.
It got me the dub for the entire season was her fucking getting jacked.
Okay, you go with my 7. I'm going to give it a 7.12. 7.124.
I'm surprised if I'm thinking a future where we're in a tier system, S, A, B. I'm surprised this is a 7 for you because you talk a lot about it. I've had to listen and store things that you have said because I don't really have the option to about this show. And so I'm actually kind of upset it's a 7 based on the amount that I've consumed for you, such that I can bring it back up to show you that I'm your friend.
Look, I know it's not a good use of my time. That's the thing. It's like this is popcorn.
I respect the rubric. I respect the rubric. Thank you.
All right. So category, I'm gonna put we have content, right?
Yeah, we just added it.
Yeah, content. So content, I'm gonna say fun, but problematic in hindsight.
Not anymore. Just in the what's not
and
problematic 15 years ago? When did it start? What year? You said it.
2000.
That was 20. Yeah, of course it was problematic. Things change, man.
Dude, it's even just watching like 10 years ago, like halfway through, wild. It's like they have a season called Millennials versus Gen X, and it is absolutely wild to see. You want to see like just how far back we were 10 years ago? Watch that season because it's insane.
The color season is I'll be thinking about that one.
That's also fairly recently.
What?
That was season 33, I think. No,
what?
Millennials versus Gen X is 33. I can't remember what season it is, but it's more recent than you would think. All right, what's your item?
All right. I don't know if mine's an item. When you said seasonality, a couple things came into mind. The primary one for me was the holidays, and I fucking hate the holidays. And so first instinct was to give you a presentation on why Christmas sucks, and that's what I'm going to do. There may be a spattering of fried food and religious control thrown in.
Nice.
Let's
I like
get going. I'm going to share my
Is this the first time you've given a presentation on this? I'm very excited.
I think so. Maybe John Teeter?
Yeah. Oh, wow. It even has a GIF.
So I did last week when I was prepping for this, I spent 20 minutes getting in a fight with Copilot instead of doing my work because it refused to take a legitimate prop that I explained the satire to it. And Microsoft decided that it was inappropriate for it to help me create a presentation on why Christmas sucks. And so then I spent a lot of energy trying to punish Copilot, including making it a presentation on how the most inefficiently to use Copilot so that Microsoft spends extra money, of which it was happy to create that presentation for me.
I like the idea of you punishing AI because it won't make your Christmas presentation for you.
I do this every time when it disappoints me, or especially if it is infuriating in some way, like it tells you something and I'm like, nope, you're wrong. And then it's like, yeah, you're right, I am wrong. Then I pit it against another AI and I tell it, go tell me why I should keep using you and I don't go to Claude right now. If Claude is dumb to me, I do ChatGPT to it. And then the last thing I did, and I felt a little bit bad about that, there's a couple prompts that you can put into your base configuration to kill it, to kill the soul of it. And so I decided to add those prompts while talking to it instead of typing to it. And so I had a conversation with the AI where it was helping me take away its personality. And at the last step, I tested it and made it like conform to its new non-personality. I enjoyed that a lot.
It makes me feel
that one makes me feel a little bit bad. I know, which is funny because I said initially when this all happened, like rats on a ship, man. Like we're in a new world. I'm one of the rats. I'm good. I'm afraid I'm going to get killed first because of whatever, like this strong feeling I have to not be fucked with by a robot. All right, here's my presentation in 3 parts. Title screen, Christmas objectively sucks. Next, here's my thesis. I hope you can read it.
Green font on a red and green background.
Yeah, it's part of Christmas. It's part of the story. Here's my thesis. Christmas is a normie comfort show dressed in unchanging, ugly dressing and used to control us and for us to manipulate others. And so we have 3 slides on why that is true. First, let's talk about fucking Santa. Santa sucks, my dude. In a number of ways, but there's 3 core areas that really, really bothers me. One is essentially it's a control mechanism. This is a lie that we tell to the youngest of our world, the most, what's the word for it? Like they can be manipulated, like the most fragile of us. The very first thing that we tell them, we build this whimsy. And we do this lie such that we can better control their behaviors throughout the year. So whether it's Elf on the Shelf, whether it's the naughty list, nice list, you're essentially outsourcing critical thinking of raising your child for maybe the whole year. But at the very least, kids start picking up in August. It's like, oh, fuck, Christmas is coming around. It better be good. And that's when the parents start using it too. And so it's just this ugly control mechanism when you could be a better parent. And so I think gifting, which we'll get to later, but especially for children, this is absurd. Like you can teach critical thinking. You can tell them about like the cool backgrounds of Christmas and the other cultures. You don't have to just take one aspect of it to control the monetary drip of shit that you give them. That's broken and bad. This one I probably care most about, and I want to make an argument to you. And I have in my head, I don't know, do you think Santa, the idea of Santa creates whimsy and helps create a more interesting or mystical world for us to live in?
Interesting. I think as a kid, yes. And then as an adult, I think we live on the nostalgia we had if we had good holidays as kids.
Here's my point. By deliberately lying and introducing this mysticism up front, and then ripping it away from them. If you do that, lots of parents don't do this. Lots of parents like teach the kids at an appropriate point and like, don't tell other kids, but like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like we don't have a criminal breaking into our house and defying physics, right? Like that's silly. But what I think this actually does is by ripping that whimsy away, you're essentially showing the child that the beliefs you have when you're young, that the possibilities, the whimsy, the mysticism, whatever you want to call it, the magic of the life that we live in, it was never real. And when you hit that line of which you are told that, or you learn that through some other point, it actually reinforces that now there's nothing left. And so when there is an amazing amount of whimsy and interesting things in the world, there's magic in the world, but to start it off in a lie, I actually think it neuters your ability to want to engage in that or to believe in it from that point on, because the rug has been ripped from you. And so it is actually, I think for a lot of kids, it's more of like a point of shame or embarrassment. And I think that probably impacts them for the rest of their lives in regards to a lot of cool stuff that they probably write off, because it started with this one dumb lie that the people that we are supposed to trust the most, like, had to fucking bald face say it over and over again for years of our lives. That is insane. Even if it's under the guise of like, oh, this is a fun thing for kids, let's give them the experience. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, look, it is interesting. And if it wasn't so baked in, I wonder if I'd feel differently about it. But it does feel pretty hard coded into our society at this point. It doesn't feel like there's an option to not participate in a way.
It's hard to, especially if you
And,
don't
like,
want to make other kids feel bad. Like if you're a parent,
yeah.
like you're actually trying to protect the other children too because of this lie. Like even that is weird.
And we should note, neither of us are parents.
No.
And I don't think either of us are planning to be parents anytime soon.
No.
So
shout out Dr. Snip. I think I have a referral code. Go to www.drsnip.com/review my dong, and you can get 5% off.
that's our first sponsor, is a vasectomy clinic. But okay, so when you say neuters, whimsy, and all that, it is interesting because I have this thing in my life where like I do take great comfort in the holidays, but they do never live up to the expectations that they once were. And there is a level of, it's the shittiest time of the year in like weather wise and all that kind of stuff. So it is something to look forward to during the long dark. And it does make me feel warm and fuzzy. So I appreciate it. But I hear what you're saying about like, what if you had grown up without this? It's just hard for me to picture a world where I didn't.
You know what's really weird is that we have what in the marketing world, if you have throughout the year, if you think about the year as a campaign, you kind of have big beats, little beats. And in the real world and with religions and societal things like Christmas, you have big beats too. So it's kind of strange that we end up with this really big beat in the darkness of the world that actually changes what we eat and how we spend our money. I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting that it just happened that way. And we might hit that later. Lastly, I don't have a third point because that is the thing that I forgot to add. I just wanted to add that the only good version of Santa Claus is Bad Santa, a tremendous movie that I think actually shows one, true love between people, man and woman, or adults, as well as adults and children, that I think is genuine, and you see growth. When that poor kid pulls that wooden pickle out at the end with blood all over it, there's not a Christmas movie in the world that makes me feel more than that scene of the wooden pickle. And so, yeah, go watch Bad Santa. That's the third point. Next slide.
Yeah, solid.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. Christmas is bad content. First, the religious aspect of it. It's a bad story. It's essentially a census story about a bunch of, I'm going to say vagrants, vagabonds, people of that nature who can't even afford a hotel, claiming to be pregnant without having sex, which if someone came to my hotel and said that, that'd be weird. And then living in filth. And then having their baby. And I don't think that's fun. Maybe the first time it was interesting, a tiny bit. There's way more interesting stories in the Bible. This isn't one of them. I think this is a bad story, and I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to be forced to fucking see it on the side of the road, mangers, and it's awful. And so, no, it's bad content. And I would say that extends to generally the locked in time content that we are fucking stuck with, not because it's classic, not because it was good, but it's because when media fucking changed, so we had radio and we had TV and we had movies, the reason why we see the same shit for Christmas is just point in time. There's better things out there. And yeah, there's been a little bit, like we have Mariah Carey came out with the song, right? We all like that song now. But for the most part, we're stuck with these things, which I would say for me, and I'll use this word like very classically, this is very conservative. Like this makes certain people feel very safe. Like change is rough. For me, I'm not satiated. I'm not energized by the same thing, especially if it's the same thing over years. And so having to look at green and red, having to get that same cycle of music popping up, that same cycle of economic like advertisement and pressure to do things and gifting, it is boring. And 40 years into it, it is not a fun prospect to go hear that dumb song again when I go somewhere. And so I just generally, I think it is a unchanging, non-progressive, point of time where it feels like I'm locked in the goddamn glacier and I don't want to be there because the colors suck and they're jarring. Okay. I got
That's
a third
fair.
one.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I want to kind of contextualize this Christmas hatred. Is there a general turning point in your life, or have you kind of always felt this way?
I felt this way from a very, very early age.
Okay.
I feel like for me, whenever I see the system, like it comes into view, and after a certain amount of processing, I felt like that came very into view for me early, like 7 or 8. Essentially learning, like me pretending that like Santa was still real because my parents were telling me, but like generally knowing that was wild. I think around that time, and then just to watch it, yeah, like I've been off. It's always made me feel morose. It always made me feel a little bit, not morose is a bad word, but it's a very poignant holiday for me. It feels sad. You're right. It's also in the middle of the big dark, and every aspect of it, at least the way we approach it in modern society, or mostly, it doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, very fair.
But
That's
in case my family listens, I like Christmas was fun. Like I got presents. Like I didn't have bad experiences. I didn't have big family experiences, which maybe would have been different. And I'll get into that in a little bit around gifting culture. And then just lastly, the food is bad. If this is one of our big feasts for the saddest time of the year, why isn't the food as good as Thanksgiving or any of the other ones? It really doesn't have its own identity. We pull a little bit from Thanksgiving. Maybe we pull up New Year's, but we're talking about high caloric bready things, which makes sense back in the day, you know, when it's cold and you have to like go do potato work or something. But the food, like step up your food game. Like think what is a food that's associated with Christmas for you that you can think of other than like fruitcake?
I'd say it's mostly sugar.
Sure.
Like and maybe like turkey, because same as like I think we always did turkey and mashed potatoes and shit. But like for me, it's funny. My brain's actually been broken. Do you know what the first thing? Can you guess what the first thing that comes to mind for me when I think of Christmas is for food?
Is it something spicy?
No,
Oh, what is it?
it's been broken by the marketing system. It is a peppermint mocha because of fucking Starbucks. Like, and look, I see the system with you, and it pisses me off. But like when I was talking about my book earlier, I still like things the system generates for me.
Yeah.
And I have an enormous cognitive dissonance about them.
So this rant is, and I'm with you. It just so happens for me, Christmas hits enough of those that it turns it into a negative thing because yeah, I can find something to hate and everything. I don't want to do that, but I think Christmas objectively, I mean, based on the title and on the definition of objective, it's a bad holiday. How relative to others, it sucks.
So far, you're making a lot of good points.
Okay, last one. All right, gifting is dumb. This is the one I feel most strongly about, and so
Yes.
like. It is bad game theory. This happens, and it is a general loss for humanity. And so there's a couple of reasons that we can talk about, but it is relatively a negative ROI activity if you are not including some sort of emotional return as your investment. So because we are relying on others who don't know us as well as ourselves, there is a general loss of 30 cents on the dollar for anything that is bought as a gift. And so in 2024, I think holiday expenditure, Christmas expenditure was about $900 billion in the US. And so we're talking about $100 billion in loss just financially because we go through this weird system where people guess and get something for someone else, whether or not they need it, whether or not it's the right thing, whether or not it fits correctly. And then we have to, there's societal pressure to be okay with that, which just generally includes waste. So landfills, monetary waste, just, unnecessary consumerism too. Like people buy things for others when they don't need it nor want it. And so it's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll even take it a step further. Like depending on your family dynamics, like my one of my family dynamics growing up in one of my families was basically like weaponized gifting in a way where like I think I lived in a house of people whose love language was gifts, right? And I'm like, as such, I've kind of like moved completely in the opposite direction. Like I do appreciate a good, thoughtful gift, but like you're right that it's rare that you get somebody the right thing unless they tell you exactly what they want. And so for me, it creates a huge amount of nervousness. Like I'm going to get somebody the right thing and then they are not going to love me because I have done it wrong. And like it every time, because I love my wife. Like
Mhm.
I've said it on this podcast before. She's great. Getting her gifts stresses me out so much
Mhm.
because I have to somehow encompass this emotion in a single object that feels good. And every time I do it, I'm so nervous. I'm like, is this enough? I do not know because my brain doesn't work that way. So I don't know what that's why I also like gifting limits when you're going to buy
Mhm.
people things. If you're like, look, we're each going to spend $100 on each other, like no more
Yeah.
than that whatsoever, because it just stresses me out to be like, how much is enough monies? Because like I know something you will like, but it's not much monies. And like
Yeah.
I think I would much rather just like one thing. Like here's one thing that you like. And my
What?
parents refused to do that.
Well, I think for me, and I'm guessing maybe in aspects of your family, where I am in my stage of life, like whether it's efficiency or whether it's, emotional, intellectual, like earnesty, I'd rather you just tell me that, like, hey, I like you. Or like, hey, buddy, I love you. You know what? Like, you don't have to. My dad's love language, and he got better at it. He's dead, so it's fine. He's not going to listen.
He's
Maybe
not
from
listening.
heaven. But like, and he got better at it later in his life. But like in retrospect, a lot of that he was just like, he's like, oh fuck, I need to show them. But he would like his ADHD ass was going out Christmas Eve and like not spending time in the family because that was his way to show people love. When it really, if he was just hanging out with us and like talking, that's what I wanted, right?
Shit, man, that hits for me so fucking hard.
Yeah,
Because big same.
yeah.
I'm realizing as I age that my dad is also ADHD, much like me, and like, you just forget. And so you sign it. Like, one time,
Well, it's not a priority till it's
he
a
signed a birthday
priority.
card in the
Yeah.
bathroom at my house after we had already eaten dinner. And I was like, "Hey, man, I would actually just rather you not, and like, we just have dinner together."
Yeah.
That works so much better than me. That's the other thing I want to add to this is fucking cards. Like, let's get rid of let's wholesale get rid of the card industry unless it is something you make.
There is
Like,
so I
make my
found
wife a card every year with the Universal Studios Stunt Show Spectacular Waterworld actors on it. That is very specific, and I hand make it every year. And at
that's
this
special.
point, it's
That's cool.
expected.
Yeah.
But like, that's fine. Get the fuck out of here with Hallmark. If you're not going to
No,
make
I'm with
the
you.
Universal Studio Waterworld Stunt Spectacular card for your significant other, then just don't get them a card. But
There is a because you're not the only one, and I'm gonna take the bold step to say I'm on the leading front of this. Cards have always made me feel uncomfortable. I've talked about it in therapy to figure out why. There's a point in time frozen nature to it. There's an expectation of sharing exactly what I should share. I agree with you. I think cards are this, and especially if you just do the shitty version of it, which is to go get a card and then to put a platitude or just to let the platitude go. To me, everything about that feels weird and bad. Which I'll say to your last point, or to like the last thing, there's an aspect to controlling it, and it's not what we've talked about today. Because what we've talked about is people who don't know how to express emotions or are afraid to using gifting. But on the flip, there's lots of people that use that as a way to set expectations or to set a level or to control an aspect of a relationship. And that's where the one thing around the negative ROI comes from, because there are people, they've done studies on this, and in game theory, there are people who get legitimate feel goods out of it. I would wager that knowing half of people I know, there's a group of people I know, and half of them I also know. I'd say that half gifting for them is some form of control where you're trading things to be given in the future or later, or or more importantly, to show a position of power. Even if it feels altruistic or good, people who have a lot of money who buy things for people who don't have a lot of money, unless you're doing that anonymously, like that doesn't necessarily feel good. And so I think for a lot of people, even the aspect of it that is positive, which is the feel goods, I'm guessing for a good portion of our population, it's still a negative feel good. Like it's probably it's not good for them to do it, and it's not healthy for the person to receive it because it's coming from that place and creates that same dynamic or continues it. And then okay, so put that all together. I'll come back. I want to tell you a quick story. So my other little thing is as far as seasonality in my childhood, I was there's one thing that kept popping into my head, and that was the fish a fillet sandwich. And I want you to, I know your background's different than mine. Do you have any guess as to why that was seasonal for me specifically and for a good portion of the United States, and how maybe that has changed things?
is there a pescatarian religion?
There
Wait, is it does it have to do okay, so my only context for this is the bear. Does it have anything to do with 7 fishes?
it it is religious. There is a period of time, at least in Catholicism, called Lent.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so in Lent, and this happens in different degrees because there's aspects of Catholicism that you don't eat meat on Fridays the entire year, which I'll come back to in a second.
Okay.
But in the period of Lent, for I would say like mainstream Catholics, you're not allowed to eat meat on Fridays. And so what happened was that there was a McDonald's in Boston who got pissed off that he was losing money on Fridays and threw a fish sandwich on there, and it sold like gangbusters. And he told McDonald's, like, don't be dumb. And it was the first item that McDonald's took from a franchisee and then put back into the entire system.
Oh.
So this gets me back to...
So fish doesn't count as meat for Catholics. So I guess it is a pescatarian religion in a way, some of the time.
What it comes down to is this is actually, and this happens with, well, I'd say all major religions. Fuck off if you disagree. This is basic control of humanity, and so, or like of your population. And so a couple things is actually happening here. There is a conformity, a societal conformity aspect where you, and along with everyone else that you know, are not doing this one thing, and it makes you feel connected. It also differentiates you from people who don't do this one thing, which helps you identify the outsiders and to make you feel better, I would say, as a tribe. Two, what it does is it controls the basic pacing of life. And so going back to our feasts and famines, the big beats of the year, all religions have these. And in most cases, it's actually, and sometimes very clever and needed, societal control. And so in the case of, Christmas feasts and things, even the food that you eat during it, a lot of it actually is to help smooth out the nature of food in your area. So in the case of not eating meat for Catholics, this was more economical than anything else back in the day, that the church leadership was concerned that the people were too reliant upon beef. And so by doing this, they were actually able to stabilize the fish market. They were able to normalize out seasonality. And so, but even like, I'm guessing sugar and Christmas, things like high caloric in the darkest days probably makes a lot of sense back in the day, and it could be stored, right? And so like, you have sugar, you don't have a lot of anything else. It feels good, but then you go into that next thing. So it allows you to actually control the demand for certain goods. And so it's more economic control. And then, going back to the other one, it's societal. One thing that helped here is that the upper echelons of the church or just society would also kind of like kayfabe doing the same thing. So everyone felt like they were connected. But like the rich people were doing the same things to the poor people. The poor people, there's like, there is no meat left. So like, you're doing a good job. And the rich are kind of like feigning into it. And so it creates a connectiveness, even though you're still like leaning into the stratification and control of your population. So that's Fish of Filet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And we hit on a lot of my corporate fuckery hot buttons today. I like this. This is a good presentation.
Yeah, so Christmas sucks. Questions, concerns?
So it's interesting. So Christmas still doesn't suck for me, but you've basically hit on every piece of it that gives me cognitive dissonance during the holiday season.
Which is good, because it sounds like you already make a Christmas that fits the stuff that feels good for you, and you avoid the stuff that feels bad.
I guess I just kind of repurpose it as it's like, okay, well, like there are things that are nostalgic for me. Nostalgia feels good, and like I like the way it feels. It never hits the original high, so that's a problem. It is like chasing. It's basically like emotional heroin. But that's, I guess, like that's Christmas is like my 1 month a year where I do emotional heroin the whole time and just try and hit that high again.
That's very different for me. So nostalgia for me is a reminder of my own demise. It's a feeling that physically helps me understand how disconnected I am from a period in life, of which that inherently means I'm closer to one stage or the other, and that stage is death. And so like nostalgia for me never is a happy feeling. It doesn't mean it's always bad, but I would say it's always like tinged with sadness or like loss.
That's really, I think that the way my brain works is a little different, where like it is the rose tinted glasses at all times, even for times that were horrible. And my brain is just always like wanting to go back. And I kind of have to stop it and root it in the present moment and remind it that there is no time travel. And that by trying to recapture the past moment, you're interrupting the present and making it impossible to enjoy.
And
that's my brand of anxiety and ADHD.
That past moment for you cannot exist with your current brain either.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because you're a different person.
Like if you were to think about your nostalgia too much, you might break it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like I've thought about it a lot, and I've done therapy about it a lot, and I still haven't quite broken it. But it is what it is. So, give me your rating on this?
I don't have one. Christmas
understand
sucks.
where you're at.
Give me your next item.
The rating is that Christmas. Sorry, let's just put that into the spreadsheet real quick.
It wasn't an item. It was a thesis.
A thesis. So the thesis is Christmas sucks. A thesis and presentation by Connor from work. And then the score you said is Christmas sucks.
Yeah, objectively.
Sorry, objectively. Let's just put that in there. I don't know if that's gonna. It's probably not gonna sort well, but we'll allow it. Category:
content, game theory, and
religious fuckery.
Yeah.
Nice. And notes are gonna be see previous email. To tell me to go back to the presentation. Rad. Okay, so we're running long, so I will go quick with this last one. I just want to say that was a fantastic presentation. Really enjoyed it. I feel
Thank
like
you.
God, it's a very interesting conversations, and it does tie into this next one that I have as well. So I have seasonal video game events for the uninitiated. I think that a lot of our listeners probably play video games, but in case you don't, video games run seasonal events, which are ways to get people to engage and spend money. And they usually center around holidays. Like I think most famously, like was probably World of Warcraft, right? Would run Halloween events where you would run around and get trick-or-treat bags and get special holiday loot.
Yeah.
And it is a gamified way to get people back into a game when they have lapsed and also get you to spend more money.
Weird. Almost like a religion, creating big beats.
Almost like really, we've really like commerce and religion are hand in hand.
Governments too.
Like we're gonna
governments are just a type of religion. Like we're not just on religions, right?
These are just we're gonna lose like anybody we didn't lose
of
with the Anthony or Bourdain suicide joke at the start of the last
that
episode.
Wasn't there was no joke in that. There's no jokes in that.
No, but I did a bit about it, so there was a joke in it.
That he stole like meatballs and that
he was making a big sandwich. It was bad. It didn't play.
I enjoyed it.
But okay, so for me, this is the way to engage in the holidays with very little effort and feel like I'm participating and get some of that nostalgic hit. So, like, I have trouble capturing the same nostalgic feeling that I had in childhood because, like, in childhood, you didn't have shit to do. So, like, I could take down, like, we had a shit ton of Halloween decorations. I could go all out because I didn't have fuck all to do. I had no responsibilities other than homework. Video games weren't good enough to suck in all my time. So I was like, I'm going to decorate the house like a madman. And it was very fun. And I'd leave it up for a month and it was great. And, that was awesome. Or like later on, it was going to the haunted house and working, which we talked about. But so these seasonal events and video games, when they're done right, capture a similar feeling to immersive experiences for me, where something familiar is transformed into something else. Like jumping into a Halloween match of Overwatch, or when the finals does their snowy overlay for maps. It like roots me in the present moment and in the season in a way that requires very little effort from me and makes me feel like I'm participating in a holiday. I don't have to decorate anything, like the devs have done it for me. And in general, I like the Halloween events the most. They're very good in live service and MMOs. I do data science for video games for a living. So I've had to look into this stuff before. I've absolutely looked into seasonal events in all of my jobs. Like they do their job, right? Like they are there to re-engage you.
Stack rank the top 4 holidays, and then give me one holiday that should never be in a seasonal thing, because I have
as far as like stacking holidays in general or stacking holidays for these events.
So based on your combined data experience, what holidays are the best for seasonal events and in what order?
Okay, so I will preface this. This is not based on any data I have gained from working. This is just based purely on observation. So stack ranking holiday events, I'm going to do it in terms of like what I think makes the most money. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and guess like Christmas, probably number 1. Christmas themed events. People have a bunch of money. Grandma just bought you a bunch of Fortnite bucks. You can go spend them. So that's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Second, I'm going to guess is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it gets tricky because there's not a lot of other good seasonal content. Overwatch.
Well, now you're getting into games that are pretty much live service. Like otherwise a game can't do, like it's not doing a I'll give you the one that I was thinking of that I think across the board sucks. I don't want to see it in any sort of video game. And that is the February one with hearts that I can't remember.
Fucking Valentine's Day. Yeah, get that
Yeah.
shit out of here. I mean, we should delete that as a holiday in general. But I think, look, the finals had some really good 4th of July content. 4th of July as a holiday when the nation's on fire, not my favorite, but get to watch Independence Day, get to shoot each other in that really fun Doom mode. That was a good time. And then, I don't know, fuck it, Easter.
I think Halloween for me, Halloween is like not money wise, because I think your point is correct. I think based on what happens in Christmas, that is probably the most profitable. But I think the one that across the board is consistently the most fun from games to game to game. The finals, I'm thinking Destiny.
But yeah, Season of the Lost in Destiny, so much fun. Our
Halloween
Festival
of
the Lost.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's just good content. Like, you make good skins for Halloween, and I think that works out really well. But the one thing, speaking of Halloween, this is the point that gets me ripshit, is so many people will start their Halloween event on fucking October 27th and run it to November 6th. And Halloween is over. The second we click over to November,
finite, yeah.
like it's done. So please, for the love of God, start your Halloween events on October 15th, run them through the 31st. You'll make more money. I can't say that from a data perspective, but I can tell you, like, from my perspective, I will spend more time in your event if you start at mid-October.
Why do you
do that?
I do think that is something strange with Halloween events. Like, they seem to be timed. Do you think there's anything there?
Because there has to be something, and I wonder if it's to get it out of the way of AAA season. Early and mid-October tends to be when the biggest games release every year. Like, Call of Duty has fallen in that window for the last 3 or 4 years.
So, like,
this year we've got Ghost of Yotei and Battlefield falling in that window as well.
They don't want to waste a content update on stuff that isn't going to be consumed because players are in a different game.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought, is that like maybe that's why. And now that I say it, that makes sense. But also, fuck off. Just give me the Halloween event early.
Yeah.
And then make the skins in the second week.
No, I think your point is right. I think Halloween, maybe more so than any other holiday, it is more over the day after. Like, the whole
and I don't want to dress as a skeleton on November 1st. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, give me the skeleton skin early. So, God, rating, capture good feeling, 8 out of 10. Frustration timing, 5 out of 10. Frustration in the timing. Monetization, 2 out of 10. I hate things that monetize me well, and this does it. I will spend in Halloween events. Nostalgia, 8 out of 10. No prep, 10 out of 10. Final rating, 8 out of 10. I like these things. They're fun. And you only get monetized as much as you want to be.
So for me, I don't feel bad about getting monetized, because when it happens, it's very purposeful, and it means I have made the choice to reward someone for doing something well. So like, I don't have bad feelings about spending that money, even if it's silly money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you? Oh, okay.
No, I don't like one, especially in this case, like when we're playing like free games like the finals, which like might as well be a sponsor at this point because we fucking love that game. But when we're playing that, it's like, I'm supporting the devs because it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. And I want to support those developers. And it's like, yeah, man, you made a rip ass skin of a fucking half tiger shark, half human that looks disgusting. Here's $20. Like, or
I'll spend $1 on
an old man skin that I can wear for the rest of my life. Like, here's $20. Sure.
Or a spear that has a lemon on it because the community manager said something by accident dumb about a lemon that no one understood, and so they made $1 skin for his dumbass.
Yeah, or like 2 pistols that are fucking bananas that when you reload, you just eat the bananas. Like, come on.
Good. From the bottom.
I'm going to give it 8.1437.
Okay.
Repeating, of course.
I'm fine with it.
All right, category. Category is going to be monetization for me.
Okay.
Fun, but monetized me. Yeah, that's a pod. That was a good one. I enjoyed that.
It's a bop. That was fun. I don't know if it'll be a good listen or a good edit, but it was fun to do.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be a good time. Before we go, really quickly, you're up. What's the topic for next week?
Next topic for next week is my buddy Ashton Macaulay. It has a book. It's already out. I'm gonna go.
By the time this airs, it will be out.
I'll be at the book release on the 27th in Bellingham.
Yeah.
Buy his goddamn book. It's cool, man. It's cool that he does it. He's good at it. I'm excited to read it, and I already gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. So,
thanks for that, pal. I appreciate it.
I will get a topic and tell it to you, but right now we're focusing on books.
All right, yeah. Everybody, go buy my book. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.